Hello everyone, Social Coach Michael Knight here, and today I have a question from a viewer who wrote and asked me, what's the appropriate way to approach a girl when she's in a group of other people? Let's say you're alone and she's with one or two friends, or maybe you're there with your friend, but their group has 3 or 4 people. And this is a question I get asked all the time because in social environments like a bar, it's normal for other people to go out in a group and not just be alone. The number one mistake that I see people making is just engaging the one person, like with laser focus, while simultaneously just ignoring the group as a whole and all their friends. This is a terrible approach for multiple reasons that we're going to get into. You should be engaging everyone, right? You should be talking to all the people, and by talking to them, actually looking them in the eye as you speak to the group and speaking to everyone, not just to the one person. This is also the time to ask questions such as, hey, how do you guys know each other? Because knowing who's dating who's there with their friends, who's there with their family or work colleagues, this is all really important information for you to have so you know how to calibrate yourself within the interaction. Acknowledge, address, and talk to everyone. Try to remember their names and incorporate them into conversation, especially if one of them starts looking bored. Go over to them and be like, hey, what do you think about this book, movie, whatever, Karen? What's your opinion? Get them involved in the conversation. Because if they get bored and want to leave, they're going to cancel the interaction for everybody involved. And since they have a closer relationship with their friend or family or whoever it is you're talking to, the person that you're interested in, they're going to have veto power, right? And be able to end the interaction if they choose to. This way you come off as being there to contribute something to the group as a whole, instead of just trying to run off with their most desirable member. Inciting certain jealousies can cause another member of the group to want to sabotage your interaction. For example, if you just go up to a group and start interacting with their most attractive member while ignoring everyone else, how do you think this makes other people feel? They're like, oh, here we go again. Julia's getting all the attention from the guy. Now we have no one to talk to. We're completely left out. We're bored. So you know what, Julia? Let's go somewhere else. That doesn't work to your advantage at all. But what if you approach and you say, hi, nice to meet you. You're Julia. Oh, who's your friend? Nice to meet you, Karen. And then even start talking to Karen maybe first and involving her and making her feeling like part of the group where she's getting some value and entertainment out of the interaction. Then she's going to be more likely to want to keep the interaction going. Everything will be way easier if you have the group's blessing. That is, if you can actually even win over the group and have them like you, you can actually create more attraction and create a better connection with the person you're interested in rather than you just talking to them directly alone. Why is this? This is because of a concept called social proof. If the group approves of you, which is multiple people, and they all like you, then people who see that and recognize that you're getting this approval from the group, they're going to be drawn to you as well. Because instead of just having their one own opinion, being like, this is what I think of the person, they can go, wow, if all 7 other people here all like this guy, then he probably is a good choice, a cool person to hang out with, a cool person to do business with, etc. This is also known as the rockstar effect. And the reason that it's such an important factor is normally when you approach a person singularly, you're trying to win them over, and this kind of puts you at a slight disadvantage because you're kind of coming off as trying to sell yourself. You could come off as looking try hard, qualifying yourself, trying to win their approval, and this doesn't make you look that attractive. However, when you approach a whole group and you engage the whole group, not just the one person, and the whole group starts to love you, want to interact with you, shows admiration towards you, well, now you're getting all the positive aspects of showing your personality without any of the negative of looking like you're chasing at the one person and being a tryhard. So you can generate attraction and interest from that one person that you're truly interested in without even interacting with them directly, and just having the group as a whole show some admiration towards you. It's wrong to think that just because another person is in a group that it puts you at a disadvantage. In a lot of situations, it actually can be to your advantage. Like I just said, if you're able to win over the group, or at least most of the group, and get some social proof, that's going to be greatly to your benefit, since social proof is one of the most powerful factors when it comes to things such as building your status and attraction. By the way, knowing how to build social proof in an environment where you initially know no one is an incredible skill. Like going to a bar or club by yourself, or going to a business event where you're the only representative of your company, and be able to go into that environment, know no one, start interacting, having people have a good time with you, build your social status in that environment, and then later leverage that when it comes to, finding someone you find attractive or making a business deal. Because a lot of times early on in an event or something where you have no social proof and no social momentum, an interaction might fall flat, it might go dead, there might be no chance. But if that same interaction happens a few hours later after they have witnessed you in this environment, building your social capital, building your social proof, they're seeing other people interact with you and having pleasant and enjoyable conversations, then that same interaction, the difference could be the difference between night and day. It might go super smoothly. So knowing how to do this is amazing. It's one of the reasons I learned these skill sets, because I've traveled the world, lived in 40 different countries, and being able to go to a different country alone, go to a social event and instantly make friends is one of the probably the greatest skill I know, and why I'm so passionate about teaching it to you. And I have another video on how to do this, so I'll link that either up here or here, and you can check that out later. Moving on. Another common misconception that people have is that it's good to approach a person when they're alone. For example, they came with a group, but you wait till they're off by themselves to actually strike up a conversation. No. It might not be intuitive at first, but this is not the way you should go about it. This is not like we're out in the prairie and they're a gazelle and you're waiting for them to stray a little bit too far from the herd before you go after them. That's the way this comes off, and it's not what you want to do. Think about this in any social situation. When would you be more comfortable with a complete stranger, especially one that might be bigger and stronger than you, approaching you? It would be when you're with your group of friends and people who know you and can provide some backup if the situation doesn't go so well. The same is true in these type of social situations. It's not necessarily to your advantage to initially approach a person when they're alone, because this is what commonly happens. You approach them alone at the bar, you strike up a conversation, it could even be going well, and then out of nowhere, their friend comes running back from the bathroom, grabs the friend, says, "We gotta go," and skadoodles. And actually what the friend did, the vast majority of the time, was the correct move in their situation. It's, I left my friend for a moment, she's now maybe getting hit on by some creep, I'm gonna just go to the default assumption that he is some creep, and I'm gonna run in and try to save her. And you haven't even had a chance to really prove much to the person where they're gonna even argue with their friend. Who are they gonna go? No, I wanna stay with this random person that I don't know, or, oh, my friend wants to go, I'll go with them. They're gonna choose the friend. And look, the whole interaction is blown from the start. If you find yourself in such a situation and you want to try to save it, that is, you're talking to a person but you're worried their friend's going to come back like an asteroid and just detonate and destroy the whole thing, what you do is while you're talking to the person, ask them, oh, who you're with? Oh, you're with your friend? What's your friend's name? Karen? Cool. And as Karen comes back and just about to rejoin your new group, what you do is you turn to her, you look her in the eyes, and you address her by her name. Go, hey Karen, my name's Michael, nice to meet you. We're just talking about you. What do you think about XYZ? Whatever you're just talking about. And this will completely throw them off their track. They're like, oh, I guess they kind of know each other, they're getting along, they're even talking about me, now I'm thinking about myself, and now I'm thinking about the answer to the question they just asked me. So this is a super powerful technique if you find yourself in such a situation. But what I want to stress is, it's not necessary to even get into these type of situations, because you can approach them when they're together, and it's not to your disadvantage. They're going to be more comfortable and less defensive when they're together and they feel they have each other as backup. Alright, now I'm going to cover some of the most common mistakes that I see when it comes to group dynamics. And the first one is something I call jumping ship. That is, maybe you're in an interaction, you're talking with a girl, and it's going pretty well, but then her friend says something and gives you maybe a little bit more positive attention, and then you just completely switch focus and just start talking to the friend and ignoring the initial person you're talking to. This is terrible, because it can make you come off looking very desperate, like you're willing to take anything you can get, or whoever is willing to be nice to you or give you attention, and this doesn't make you look really attractive. And it's probably going to ruin the interaction between both the people, because they're both going to see this action and find it unattractive. Now, if maybe her friend said something interesting and like won your attention or impressed you with something that she said, and you're now focusing on her because of this, that's fine, that's cool. And that could actually make her other friend feel maybe a little bit jealous or a little insecure. And this type of competition can work to your advantage. Like, you want to be the person in the group who everyone in the group is vying for your attention and wants your approval, not just going in there and looking for whatever you can get. You should have standards, and you should be measuring the people in the group up against your standards. Because a person with standards has options, and a person with options is attractive. Another common mistake is not paying attention to the group dynamic when it comes to physically escalating a relationship or asking for someone's number. Doing things like touching a person, kissing them, having them give them your number in front of a group of people can make it really awkward for that person. especially if they're out with a group of colleagues that they just met at a new job and this is their first happy hour together. And do they really want to go into work the next day? It's like, oh yeah, we went out with Jessica last night and she was just giving her number out to all the guys, right? She has a reputation to uphold. So those type of things should be done in private. If it comes down to her choosing between either giving her number to a guy she just met or upholding her reputation with a new group of colleagues that she's going to see every day at work, she's probably going to choose upholding her reputation. To summarize, 1. Talk to and engage everyone in the group. 2. Don't be afraid to approach a person when they're not isolated but in a group, because you can utilize the fact that they're going to feel much more comfortable when they're with their friends. And 3. Keep in mind the social dynamics of how a person may feel judged by the group they're with and how this may affect their actions. If you're interested in more information regarding attraction and social dynamics, then I highly recommend you check out my book or online course. Both are linked to in the description below. Also consider becoming a Patreon subscriber, because this will help me increase the rate at which I produce videos for free on YouTube. And for those of you really serious about getting this area of your life handled, I provide one-on-one coaching. Please remember to like and subscribe, since that helps me out a lot, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, ciao.